Good morning. It is 10 a.m. on Tuesday, June 24th, 2025. Call this meeting of Wichita County Commissioners Court to order. If everyone would please stand, Commissioner Beecham will give our invocation.
Pray with me, please. Our good and gracious Heavenly Father, Lord, we just come to you and as a thankful people, Lord, and thankful for your many blessings you've given us, Lord. We thank you that we live in the greatest nation that was ever on this earth, Lord. We pray that you'll continue to bless us and bless us mightily as a nation, Lord. Lord, I pray you bless this court and help us to act in the best interests of our citizens, Lord, and just do what's right by you, Lord. Lord, pray for all those that are in harm's way on our behalf, Lord, that your protecting hand would be on them. You keep them safe and bring them home safely to their families, Lord. Lord, I pray these things all in Jesus' name. For his sake I pray. Amen.
Amen. Please join us for the pledge to the U.S. flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now the pledge to the Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
All right, everyone may be seated. We do not have any presentations this morning, so it is 10:01, and we will move into public comment. I remind everyone that comments need to be limited to 5 minutes, and the Commissioners Court cannot take action on any item brought up during public comment. Do we have any public comments this morning?
Yes, Judge. I'd like to remind everybody to watch. We'll have another Purple Wave auction coming before long. There'll be, do we post that link on our website when that occurs? Is that?
We do.
Okay. And then also we have some lots in Wichita County that will sell too. We've got 3 coming relatively quickly. So if you're looking for a vacant lot in Wichita County, or maybe a Tahoe or a Charger or something like that, keep us in mind. Mark's got a great equipment trailer coming up as well, so I just wanted to make mention of that. I forget about that sometimes.
Okay.
Judge, 4th of July coming.
Yep.
This is an unusual year.
Yep.
We've had tremendous rain and a lot of growth, and we're in a hot, dry spell now, and hopefully it'll rain between now and then. And my point is if you're going to set off fireworks, it's a great way to celebrate, but you need to, as part of the planning, find you a place that's going to be secure and secure the things you need, not to burn your neighbors out. So let's plan ahead is the big deal. Know where you're going to go. You've got to go on private property with permission. And don't set out, one afternoon and in 30 minutes it's going to do your deal. A little planning would help, and our first responders would appreciate that. So thank you.
Good word.
Never legal on public roads.
Absolutely.
Public right-of-ways.
I want to address one thing. This weekend there was a post on Burke Burnett Rants and Raves about illegal dumping out on Shallowfield Road. It was a lot of illegal dumping, and I've voiced this several times in court. This is more of a public announcement. There were 2 large truckloads of house debris where they'd been demolishing a house dumped on Shallowfield Road. It was put out there. Public, a lot of the public does tend to be on the county side on that. They don't like illegal dumping either. The reason I'm bringing this up is just to emphasize how much money and time it costs the county. That happened Monday morning. My foreman, my guys, and myself were all involved in getting that taken care of, but also finding out where it came from. We were able to track it down where it came from. Some homeowners demoing a house had hired other people in Burke to haul off their trash, and they hauled it cheap straight out to the county roads and dumped it off. There was almost 2,000 pounds of debris dumped there on the road that we had to send a loader out there to pick it up, a truck to pick it up, guys working, cleaning it up. That's a day that we would have been spent mowing. We spent half a day now cleaning up trash on the side of a bar ditch, paying the guys to be there, paying the equipment there. So that cost the taxpayers $1,000, roughly, for the trash, the time, the equipment, and it costs us a half a day of mowing that we're getting further behind in. Please share that with as many people as you can, because we promptly identified them within about 2 hours of finding it. there's already criminal charges filed on it, and it will be felony charges because it's over 200 pounds. So let people know that dumping stuff on our roads, we will do whatever we can to try to press charges. I will, as my precinct, I will work night and day to try to figure out who did it, to file charges, because it costs my precinct money every week that we could be putting on roads, mowing, pay for our employees, but we're spending it on wasteful people. So that's my announcement.
Shouldn't need to make that announcement, but obviously we do.
We do.
All right. Do we have any other public comments this morning? All right. It is 10:05. Time for public comments is closed. Move to the consent agenda. There are 7 items on the consent agenda, and I need to ask the court's approval to make modifications to 2 of them. Consent agenda number 2, motion to approve Wichita County Policy Manual, Section 4.10.5 update regarding meal allowances from $20 per meal to $25 per meal. I would just like to add language that this is effective July 1st of 2025. And consent agenda item number 7, motion to approve Alpha Omega Wireless Incorporated invoice number INV 4867 in the amount of $2,998 for the relocation of the radio tower at the Iowa Park office to be paid from, I'd like to change that to Department 412 with lines determined by the county auditor.
And Judge, on that item,
Uh-huh.
7, and I had questions on 2,
Okay.
but 7, is that, we're talking about the Iowa Park Tower being at the tag office, at the, where are we talking about there?
No, this was the precinct barn.
Oh, at the precinct.
We had to raise it because some trees grew into the path of the radio.
Oh, okay, okay,
And that's why it's coming out of IT budget and not
Okay.
permanent improvement.
gotcha. And then on item 3, I had a question about exactly what we were buying there.
Sure. Commissioner Beecham, do you want to speak to that?
Yeah,
Or-
periodically we have requests for prosthetic devices. We reviewed what other counties do, thought a best practice would be to allow a single one-time only purchase of a prosthetic device or devices necessary, deemed medically necessary by a doctor. It's a one-time benefit only, up to $1,500. We do have one that's currently pending, or they're awaiting to go get the service done, where they need toe inserts because they lost portions of their feet due to diabetes. So,
Okay, I was reading the statement wrong. I took it that we were, this one time, going to make a deal for, but it's for one time per individual that
Yeah.
may have that need.
yeah,
Okay,
any client could claim that one-time benefit.
gotcha,
So,
okay,
it's loosening up our requirements somewhat, but
okay,
also providing a much necessary service. So.
sure.
And I guess, do y'all keep track of, this will be flagged somewhere so that if 5 years down the road, someone comes back?
In there, I
come-
can get you.
All right. Are there any other questions?
Motion to approve
Second.
as amended.
Got a motion by Commissioner Beecham, seconded by Commissioner Fincannon to approve the consent agenda as amended. Do you have any questions or comments on any of the motion or any of the items? That motion is before us. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed, same sign. That motion carries 5-0. All right, general business item number 1. It is currently 10:09, and we will begin a public hearing to consider the approval of a tax abatement agreement with Cryovac Sealed Air Corporation. Grab my stuff here. So this is for the expansion of the sealed air facility in Iowa Park that we discussed, and we approved the reinvestment zone back in April. The terms of the abatement, I'll just give a quick overview, and then I'll invite Nick with the sealed air team to come up and talk a little bit more about it. But basically, the abatement is for the upgrade of 2 manufacturing lines at the sealed air facility with an investment of $31.4 million. The abatement also requires 25 new full-time positions to be created as part of this abatement with an average base salary of at least $57,000 annually. The abatement would begin on January 1st, 2027 and would go for 10 years. The percentages are the same as they were for the original sealed air abatement that was passed by this court a number of years ago. It's an 80% abatement for the first 2 years, a 70% abatement for the next 2, 60% for year 5, and then 50% for the last 5 years. That comes out to an average of about a 67% abatement over the life of the abatement. With that, Nick, I'll invite you to come up and you can address the court, add anything you want to that, and answer any questions we might have.
Thank you, and thank you for the opportunity to present again. So my name is Nick McGurl. I'm from BDO, and BDO represents Sealed Air on this terrific project for Wichita County. As many may know, Sealed Air is very active in the Wichita Falls community. They currently employ 800 folks in its Iowa Park and Wichita Falls plants. And really to accommodate increased customer demand and business needs, Sealed Air has been evaluating production facilities in the U.S. to identify one facility to make this significant investment that will upgrade 2 of its production lines, as Judge Johnson mentioned. Sealed Air has identified this Iowa Park facility as one of the leading candidates for the investment. If the Iowa Park is selected for this project, the company does intend to invest about $31.4 million and create 25 full-time positions. The full-time positions have an average wage of roughly $60,000. The capital investment of the 31.4, the company intends to make real property improvements, power distribution upgrades, infrastructure upgrades, and then there's also some personal property improvements. The company also uses local professional service companies for their infrastructure and real property assistance, and so the local professional engineering services would be used for structural design and drawings for the structural modifications within the building. Just to close, the Iowa Park plant of Sealed Air has a successful history in the county. It contributes significantly to the local economy, and Sealed Air aims to continue fostering strong partnership and job creation in the local community. So they're excited about this opportunity to continue to partner with Wichita County.
All right. Any questions for Nick from Commissioner's
I
Office?
do have a
Sir.
question, Nick, and just on the mechanics of how the appraisal works. That's Sealed Air in Iowa Park. So the appraisal district would give you a value of the building and the land and everything, but does Sealed Air then do a rendition for equipment inside that building? Is that how how does the appraisal district ever know that Sealed Air put $31 million of equipment in that building?
Well, so I believe there's, for the abatement, there's annual compliance reporting that will confirm whether or not the additional assets or spend has actually been placed in service.
Right, I just didn't know how they account for all of your stuff in a building like that. It's through a rendition, I assume?
Well, you're talking about everything that's there.
Render,
plus.
like the building and the land, I can see that being appraised and they have a general idea, but from an established figure, but I didn't know when new things come on, how does that?
So, for the new things, it'll be when they have to submit their, it's not an affidavit.
Property.
Annual
Yeah.
compliance reporting.
An inventory to us for the abatement to start. That will also go to the appraisal district, which will then be able to add that equipment and that
Well,
value to.
but that's my question, what if they didn't have an abatement? And they added $31 million worth of
That's a
equipment?
question for the appraisal district. I don't know how they annually
They
do
would
that.
never know unless they turned it in on their property rendition.
You
They're commercial.
have to render, do you not?
I would assume they render, I would, and you know, that way there's a notice of the addition and all of those. And there's a running inventory of that stuff already that's for years been created,
Yeah.
but that's what I wondered right there, is how that actually worked. But he's not affected by the, what's it called, because their value is not affected
The
by
new exemption?
the new exemption.
Because they've got over $125,000 of business personal property there already, this would be just on top of that. So they're affected by it, but this abatement is not.
Very not. Well, I can't say enough about what Sealed Air means to our community and what it's meant to Iowa Park community, especially, as well as Wichita County as a whole, because it's
And I will
been
share
fantastic.
that. I shared that, your comments from the first meeting, so Sealed Air was tickled to hear all that great stuff.
Sealed Air is not just a great employer, it's a great neighbor.
Yeah.
When you can have a business that employs 800 people and you hardly know they're there, other than shift change.
Yeah.
But no, you just don't. It's just non-intrusive. It's well run, well maintained, and they're good neighbors. Good neighbors.
Well, one of our largest employers in the county.
Right.
Definitely want to support any future growth of that business. So
Terrific.
I'd be very pleased to make the motion.
We're not there yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not there
Not
yet.
there yet.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
Yeah.
jumped the gun.
Yeah. All right, Nick, thank you very much.
Thank you.
At this time, I'd like to invite any member of the public who wishes to address the court and speak on, for, or against the tax abatement agreement with Cryovac Sealed Air Corporation. Do we have any members of the public who'd like to comment? Okay, any other questions or comments, commissioners? All right, it is 10:17, and we will close this public hearing. Moves us to item number 2, which is to discuss, consider, and/or take action to authorize the county judge to sign the tax abatement agreement with Cryovac Sealed Air Corporation.
I'll finish my sentence. I'd be very pleased to make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay? We have a motion by Commissioner Beecham, seconded by Commissioner Watts, to authorize the county judge to sign the tax abatement agreement with Cryovac Sealed Air Corporation. Do we have any questions or comments on the motion or the item?
Other than the fact that on the 4th of July, when you smoked that brisket, it probably came in a sealed air
Yep.
package.
That's
Absolutely.
exactly right.
Enjoy.
Enjoy.
That's exactly right.
All right, then that motion is before us. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. That motion carries 5-0. Nick, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, it is now 10:18, and I'd like to open up a public hearing to discuss, consider, and/or take action on the amount of mandatory payments that the Wichita County Commissioners Court intends to require from local hospitals in fiscal year 2025. I'll invite Bob Pert up to address the court and explain the reason for us getting to see your face twice in 1 year.
Yes. As you referenced, I was here in January 25 when I requested the 5.76% rate. Again, this is a program where we're getting matching dollars from the federal government to help offset some of our uninsured costs and Medicaid funding costs. Since then, Congress is got a bill in front of them that would be considering freezing our limit based upon our historical amount of tax that we've put forth. The overall limit, statutory limit, is 6%. We only requested 5.76. And basically, this bill would freeze that limit into the future. And what we're requesting is for us just to up that to our maximum limit of the 6%, as opposed to the 5.76% that we brought before you back in January. Local hospitals have been informed of the proposal. They're supportive of that. That's Encompass, Highcrest, Red River, Cal West. No new cost to county, taxpayers, patients, et cetera. Just basically increasing that limit a little bit to preserve the limit that's in the statutory regulations of 6 as opposed to the 5.76 we requested back in January.
It's a precautionary measure in case Congress
Absolutely.
takes action.
Absolutely.
So timing wise, we can set a different tax rate mid-year, or there's no
Yes,
We
we
can do it anytime
we try to do this one time a year just to save on the administrative back and forth. Yes, we can do multiple adjustments to that.
Change the levy at any point in the year.
Downward, not, oh, you're asking legally. if
Yeah,
we can.
legally, is there any restrictions on changing the levy mid-year?
Don't believe so.
None to my knowledge.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
This request is being asked because basically when, not just our LPPF, but all Texas LPF, when they heard of that, similar meetings are happening around the state in order to preserve our limit as a precautionary manner to make sure that we're not limited to this, what this proposed bill will do. So it's being done across the state.
I know you've already said this, and I ask you this every time, but
fine.
please repeat for anyone that may be listening,
Sure.
this is not a tax on our taxpayers.
Nope, this is not a tax on our
This is a
taxpayer.
pass-through payment.
Yes, basically, it's a
goods
tax
from
on
the
the
hospital.
local hospitals only. We have those dollars, and those dollars go through the county to the federal, and then back to our community.
And
Yes.
Wichita County does not keep anything but a $20,000
Correct.
administrative fee.
Yes.
So this is not Wichita County trying to,
Nope. Yep.
get something out of the
Nope,
hospitals.
nope. The
or-
bottom line is, we're just trying to pull down the matching dollars from the federal government
Right.
in order to care for our uninsured and Medicaid population.
This allows you to draw more.
Absolutely,
federal dollars.
absolutely, and
Sure.
not being limited to what we asked to begin with. So
This-
that
this
bill
is-
wasn't out there at that time, but subsequent has been
This is allowing our community to bring more federal dollars into
Absolutely.
it for healthcare.
100%.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just for clarification for anyone that may be listening.
And for transparency, since this program started, it has been in the general fund, so on the financial statements, it has been reported as a general fund item. Beginning this year, we have reported that as a custodial fund, so it will be in
Good.
its own place on the financial statements and won't be.
So it doesn't make ours
Well, it
spike.
Doesn't
and-
skew us as bad.
Right.
And it's a difference of $1.3 million.
Correct. Yes.
The change.
Every little percentage.
That is surprising.
Okay.
2.24% brings in that kind of money. That's pretty good.
Net patient revenues, healthcare is a big business, so. All right, thank you, Bob.
Yep, thank you.
At this time, I will invite any member of the public who wishes to speak on, for, or against taking action on the amount of mandatory payments that the Wichita County Commissioners Court intends to require from local hospitals in fiscal year 2025. Do we have any member of the public who wishes to comment? Commissioners, any other questions or comments? All right, it is 10:22, and this public hearing is closed. That brings us to item number 4, which is discuss, consider, and/or take action to authorize the county judge to sign a resolution amending the fiscal year 2025 mandatory payment rate for the Wichita County Health Provider Participation Program.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion by Commissioner Beecham, seconded by Commissioner Fincannon, to authorize the county judge to sign the aforementioned resolution. Do we have any questions or comments on the motion or the item? All right, that motion is before us. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. That motion carries 5-0.
And I will add, this is one of the most convoluted methods of collecting money that anyone has ever devised, but we have to do it, so.
I'm just glad I don't have to fill out the paperwork.
Me
And
too.
are they collected by the state or collected by the federal government?
I think it starts at the federal government, comes to the state, and
And
then
then
the
the
state
state
pushes
is
it
the
to
one
us.
we're sending funds to when they do a call.
Right, working with our consultant, Matt Gilbert, yep.
And do they take into account, Matt, I guess we report on interest on that money.
There's no interest earned on that money,
It doesn't draw any interest at all.
no.
I don't think it's allowed.
That's correct.
Wow. I mean, even for the fund itself, there's no.
That should change. We should be able to allow the.
That's really
allow the-
crazy.
It's, and Congress, the way they're moving, I think it's the intention of the federal government to try to restrict this and to move away from it in the future.
Well, it's the most bureaucratic thing I've ever seen.
Well, the history of this, I mean, this is a way for different states who did not participate in the Medicaid expansion that Obamacare authorized this is a way to get some of that funding back to the states to use for their Medicaid populations. It is convoluted because it's convoluted.
Yeah, you would think that the hospital would make a direct tax payment to the entity and it would flow accordingly, but that's wild.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that the federal government takes a cut out of it on their end also. But
I don't know.
Because they directly match that amount,
Yes,
correct?
we're getting more than $1 back.
Yeah.
So we put $1 up, we get more than $1 back.
Oh, wow.
Good.
So,
All right. Which is why we keep doing it.
Yeah,
we'll do so.
it's
All right.
good for the community.
Bob, thank you very
Thank
much.
you very much. Appreciate y'all's time.
Thank
Bob,
you.
thank you.
All right, item number 5 is review and approve the regular bills for payment, verify payroll taxes have been filed, and authorize county treasurer to disperse payroll and/or bills within 72 hours via U.S. mail, FedEx, UPS, electronically, or be picked up and acknowledged by ledger signature in the treasurer's office.
motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Fincannon, seconded by Commissioner Mahler, to approve bills for payment, verify payroll tax has been filed, and authorize dispersal. Do we have any questions or comments on the motion or the item? All right, that motion is before us. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item number 6, discuss, consider, and/or take action to approve and ratify the minutes of the June 17, 2025 regular session.
So move.
Second.
Got We have a motion by Commissioner Mahler, seconded by Commissioner Fincannon, to approve and ratify the minutes of the June 17 session. Do we have any questions or comments on the motion or the item? That motion is before us. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. That motion carries 5-0. Item number 7, discuss, consider, and/or take action to improve the employee health insurance RFP created by the Employee Benefits Committee with Health IQ LLC. So here we are after nearly 2 months of meeting, the Employee Benefits Committee meeting with Health IQ and our consultant Kelly Fristow to develop this RFP. This version of the document is the result of that work and does come with the recommendation of the committee. As I'll just remind everyone, the goal of this I'll share. The goal of this RFP is to identify a dedicated benefits consultant that can provide a self-funded health plan that lowers healthcare costs to both our employees and to the county, improve access for our employees to high-value healthcare providers, and continue offering benefits that attract and retain employees. The scope of the work in the RFP is for respondents to offer self-funded health plan design guidance, actuarial support, financial forecasting, and underwriting analysis, employee communications, education, and support tools, transparency and accountability with our vendors through all benefit operations. All of that words, in other words, to bring solutions to the table for this Commissioner's Court to consider that give our employees similar or better access to health care at reduced costs, all done transparently for this court to evaluate. Just go through real quick the selection process. The proposals are due back to us by 4 p.m. on July 14th. At that time, the Employee Benefits Committee will evaluate the proposals, narrow those down to a short list of 2 or 3, and do an oral presentations and interviews with that short list. The committee will then consider those, recommend a proposal or not to the Commissioner's Court, and the court will make a determination on proposals by August 15th, and then allowing us time to negotiate a final contract agreement by September 1st, or if we're not happy with that, to renew with TAC by the deadline to do so. The link to the RFP will be on our county website so that folks can reach out and request that RFP if they're interested in responding. So, do you mind handing me a Kleenex? Thank you. So that, I just said a lot. It was a long process, and we just talked about the convoluted nature the LPPF and healthcare, but health benefits and healthcare coverage is not a simple process, and a lot of times on purpose, that's the case. We've got some of the committee members that helped draft this RFP in the audience. Is there anyone who wants to talk about the work that the committee did? Or I did such an excellent job that it's not necessary? Okay. Commissioners, Commissioner Cannon, did you have anything you wanted to add to that?
No, I thought for sure Tommy would stand up and speak.
Well, I was fixing to.
Oh,
Well, go ahead.
come on up.
I will.
Well,
I
I'm just
I hate to miss
amazed
an
that,
opportunity to speak for a governmental body.
I'm amazed, Tom, that this process has flown smoothly and gone together, and it seems quick and it's very vast, so.
Had very professional people in that committee.
I'm telling you, the quality of people on that committee, Jeff. To dovetail off the judge's comments, this has been a very, very, I've said this more than once to Mickey and even the judge and Kelly and a few of the committee members, that I don't know when I leave up there on Fridays whether I'm happy or I want to choke somebody. It's, at some point in time, the court as a whole, the judge and Mickey have certainly been privileged to this, to the data we've looked at, but I will tell you, it's very, and I hardly ever struggle with the English language, but this has been one of the most enlightening endeavors I've ever been on in my life, and I've served on some committees before, but this is something that was long overdue in county government. We tried to kind of get this off the launch pad a few years back. I mentioned to Judge Johnson his first year in office and he was on board then that we need to take a look at our health care coverage. But first year in office, you're trying to get both hands on the steering wheel as a new office holder. And this time last year or so, if you wanted to go swimming, you could swim in the 30th District Court. So last year wasn't the year to do it, but we got a cleaner slate. We got a lot of good people on this. It's like you said, Jeff, it's moved very, very methodically. We're very, very, very blessed, and I mean that. I beat the drum for Kelly several years back. I think in 2017 or 2018, we were trying to maybe take a look at this, but to have somebody this knowledgeable here in Wichita Falls that knows it inside and out, to be on this committee has been a blessing. But this is long overdue, and I will say this: and when this all plays out, if TAC has the better product, so be it. But we owed it to ourselves as county government to look at how we've done our healthcare business. It's kind of like an old pair of good boots or tennis shoes. You know they're worn out, and you probably ought to go buy another pair, but you just keep on wearing them. We were due to look at what we were wearing, and a lot of great people on this committee, and I certainly hope that we'd have the support of the court as a whole this morning. A lot of great work being done, and as far as the judge said on the timeline, this thing's moving the way it ought to move. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Tom.
Thanks, Tom.
Yeah, it's one of those, you don't know what you don't know, and having an expert like Kelly to come and be a part and enlighten us, it's enlightening every time he tells us about stuff, but that this certainly gives the expertise to this RFP, and I'm excited about the response.
Well, the average individual wouldn't know where to start.
No,
You
and
know, where do you even go
and the July 14th or 15th date, that's adequate time?
Should, yeah, we double checked, it should be. I mean, there's going to be a lot for potential respondents to try to pull together and get ready to be able to respond to that, but it's more than adequate time, I think.
It's pretty amazing when you think back to the peace talks on the Vietnam War. They spent 6 months trying to decide what shape table. Tommy, did y'all get into the table shape?
Well,
remember that, but
and I'll say, wow.
Kelly's got the coolest table in town, though.
wow, that really did happen. I mean,
I will say one thing, and I think I mentioned this when this item was originally brought to the consultant to move forward with drafting an RFP. I understand county employees who may be a little apprehensive and nervous because you start talking about messing with people's health insurance. That hits really close to home. I understand that. Every member on the committee gets it. That is one of the primary, if not top level reasons that we're doing this, is that we think at the end of it, we are going to get responses that provide better access to care and that do so much less expensively so that we can turn around and invest those savings back into our employees. This is not just strictly a way, though it's part of it, this is not a way to try to cut costs or to do anything like that. This is all tied together with what the benefits that we're offering to our employees. So I just wanted anyone who's listening to this or may hear afterwards who's worried about what we're gonna do. This is the next step on the process. We will get those proposals back. The committee will look long and hard at them before making a recommendation. And we really do all have that goal and that understanding that this is scary and a big change if we do it. We get it, we hear it, we understand it, and it's at the top of our minds. So,
But there's a good chance by the time this is over, we'll know a lot more about what we're
Well,
dealing
the
with.
world's
and have
changed a whole bunch.
Yeah,
since-
better understanding.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we just go about saying, okay, here's the plan, and I can't, tell you the ins and outs of it, but I'm glad it's there. But I think it'll make us more aware of what it is and what it does, or it could.
You kind of stole my thunder there.
oh, sorry.
About as far as our employees are going to be quite scared about it, but I don't think there's any employee or any adult here that's ever been involved in any kind of medical issue and been billed for it or find out what it costs later down the road, and you're astonished and you're amazed at how it almost seems like what they're doing is illegal when it comes to hospitals, with healthcare, with insurance, how they bill everything. In this committee, we've learned so much about how that's all done and different ways to save money on that, but nobody's ever willing to step out there and try something new because, the county has really great healthcare. And right now, we do have some of the best healthcare in the city and the county. But more and more employers and more cities and counties are looking at this type of insurance, looking at switching over because it is so much better service, so much better cost, and it benefits the employees. And that's our ultimate goal, I think, as a committee, was to benefit our taxpayers and our employees. So that's our ultimate goal, and that's what we'll continue to look at.
All right. Any other questions on that? All right, I'm gonna make the rare and I will make the motion to approve the employee health insurance RFP created by the Employee Benefits Committee with Health IQ LLC.
I'll second.
Do we have any questions or comments about the motion or the item? All right, that motion is before us. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. All right, item number 8, receive update on courthouse renovations and county courthouse annexes. Commissioner Beecham? We tried to give this report last week without you, and it kind of fell flat.
Kind of fell flat. Owl Park, we were out there yesterday. They're still telling me the end of July. Having a hard time actually visualizing that at this point, but I'll just reserve judgment for another couple of weeks, and then we'll go from there. Everything's looking good out there. We did run into a little problem with the decorative ceiling tiles were not as they showed in the catalog. So Rick and I are working on a solution. I think we've got a really good, inexpensive solution to fix the problem. But
Appreciate the work you guys did down here for the little storage area.
Looks great, Rick.
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, there's a,
we interjected a problem with that too. So.
that created a,
A-
it used
a
to be a wind
vortex.
tunnel.
Uh-huh.
So it would just come right through, and pull all the leaves and everything with it. So now that there's a wall there, now it all just heads up, slams in there, and then it pushes on the doors. I mean, it wants to come in. So y'all seen it, I'm sure,
Yeah.
here in the last day or two, that you open that door, and then when it closes, it's like, So, we were talking about possible building pressure issues, but after reevaluating it all, it's like, no, it's just, we just created a place for the wind to balloon up, and it'll be okay. I think we
We'll
can manage it.
come up with a solution.
Hey, why don't we take that door out and let the wind blow through again?
No,
Well,
that's
I did notice that a couple of times. I guess the wind being just right, it doesn't do it all the
no,
time.
it's
but-
just when the wind's
One's
a
more about
certain
20,
direction
yeah.
and
Okay.
Don't have
speed.
your fingers in the door, in other words.
Yeah. But we're working on a solution for that too, so. Rick's always working on a solution for something.
All the problems we solve by progress,
But,
our problems we start by progress.
yeah, anyway, Iowa Park's going well and
Yep.
not much else moving on. Have anyone even been here to work on punch list items?
No, it's,
2 weeks ago they were, but I haven't seen them since.
no, there's just been very little done to finish up.
Any updates on the roof at the LEC? Has anybody been here to,
I'm meeting a representative from Carlisle Friday morning.
okay,
Earlier the better, but he's trying to push it out on me to where I'm gonna end up cooking up there.
right?
But anyway, Friday morning, we're gonna, get up on that roof
Oh,
and
good.
go through all that.
You won't wanna stay and look long at 3 o'clock, will you?
I won't be able to
No.
see anyway, so.
No, take a welding hood up there
Yeah.
with you,
So, but yeah, Friday.
Okay.
so. That's really about it right now.
Any other questions or comments on that item? All right. Well, it is 10:41. At this time, we will go into closed session for a briefing and discussion with Wichita County District Attorney's Office regarding open records policies. This meeting is closed pursuant to section 551.071 of Texas Government Code, consultation with attorney. Unless you have been cleared to remain for this meeting, ask to vacate the courtroom. Is currently 11:11, and we are back in open session. The only listed item here is to take action on closed session items. Don't believe there's any action to take this morning. So with that, it's now 11:12, and court is adjourned.